Welcome back. It's Friday. We are ready to roll with our weekly video. I am so excited to be here with you. Whether you're here inside the Facebook group or watching this on YouTube, I am so glad that you've joined me today. We are going to answer a very important question today with what we're going to talk about. And the question is this: is it better to be 100% perfect or just 10% better in the healthy lifestyle changes that we're making? That's the question that I want to help you be able to answer definitively. And I want you to believe and lean into that answer with your whole heart and soul. And I'm probably going to be inviting you to maybe change your mind on what the answer to that question is for you right now. So we're going to get into that today. This is really important because I want to help you change your approach from an all or nothing approach to a more sustainable approach. If we make changes in a more sustainable way, we're going to have the results we want for a longer time, right? So that's the mission here. I want to help you make changes that are going to last. So we're going to dig into this. If this is your very first time seeing one of these videos, or if you're new to our Facebook group, welcome. I'm Danielle. I'm a National Board Certified Health and Wellness Coach, and I'm a plant-based nutrition educator. These videos are really to help you understand how you can upgrade your nutrition, prioritize your self-care, and take charge of your habits so that you can really have that healthier lifestyle that you are craving. So welcome, and please tune in. Week after week, we'll be right here. So let's dive into our topic a little bit today. The reason I feel like this needs to even be talked about is because we live in a society that has this all or nothing mentality in a lot of things, especially in the health and wellness space. Let me tell you what I mean a little bit. Think of all of the diets that are out there, the fad diets. All of them will tell you that you have to go all the way in order to get the results that the diet is designed for. You can't dip your toe in. You've got to go 100%. And then, even outside of the dieting world, look at fitness. Look at the workout programs that are out there that promise these big changes, big results to tone and strengthen and trim down your body. But again, they are only promising results if you give it your all. You have to commit 100%. And that makes sense, right? Of course. If you want the result, you have to have the input, and as much of it as possible. It makes sense in our brains. My problem with this approach is that it's not sustainable. So think about this. If you're gonna do that diet or you're gonna do that workout program for the set amount of time, let's say it's 6 weeks or 12 weeks, you're gonna get those results, right? The question for me though is, how long are those results gonna last? Okay, that's really the question that I want you to be asking yourself when you are jumping into programs like this. Is this going to last? Yes, they're promising the results at the end of this 6 weeks or 12 weeks, but are those results going to stick around? That's the question. So what I see as I look at the dieting world and the fitness world, I see a whole lot of Americans getting lots of results and then reverting right back to the way they were before. Because they're not actually creating new habits, they're just forcing this big behavior change for a short amount of time. And so we get the results for a short amount of time. So we have this on again, off again effect. And I'm frankly sick of it. I'm exhausted for all of those people that have suffered from that. And maybe you've been in that boat before. So I want to help us pull ourselves out of that mentality and let go of the all or nothing. So what we're going to talk about today, first of all, I'm going to tell you why 100%, that 100% approach is not always the best way to go. And then I'm going to tell you 4 things that you can do to overcome that all or nothing mentality. Sound good? Okay, so let's start with this 100% idea. It's not always best. And the reason for that is actually scriptural. If you're religious, this phrase might sound familiar, of running faster than you have strength. We cannot do more then we can, at least not for a long time. And if you ever have been a runner, can you remember when you first started to learn to run? Yes, you do have to learn. Can you remember what that was like when you realized how you needed to pace yourself? I know I had that experience. I was very surprised by that I couldn't just give it my all and last for the whole mile or the 5K or whatever. I really had to learn to pace myself. I had to get to know what my strength level was, what pace could I maintain for that mile or for that 5K. And we need to do the same thing with the healthy changes that we're making and the habit changes that we're trying to create. Does that make sense? So the other problem that I have with this all-in, like full-bore 100% approach to dieting and fitness is that if it's creating stress, it's actually undermining the results that you want to be getting, right? So if we're in this to improve our health, if we're in this to improve our health outcomes, the length of our life, a lot of you are here because you are trying to implement a whole food plant-based approach to your nutrition, and maybe you're trying to reverse disease. We know that this way of eating can reverse heart disease, diabetes. It can help with cancer. There's amazing things that can be done with whole food plant-based nutrition. So we want to go all in because we want all the benefit. But let me just share with you a little bit that what we understand about food and how that can create inflammation in our body, especially processed foods and animal foods, that same inflammation can also be caused by stress, okay? And all of those diseases that I just highlighted for you have a root in inflammation. So what good is it doing us if we are perfect in our whole food plant-based nutrition plan, but we are stressed out of our minds and we are hating our food and we are hating our life and we are just holding on with both hands, hoping that we can get through this and hoping that we can get the result that we're looking for? What good is that actually doing us if there's that much stress going on under the surface? I can speak to this from personal experience, and I'm actually going to share a lot of this story in a webinar that I'm going to be doing on Monday. I can tell you a little bit more about that later. I'm going to be sharing the story of my husband when we went through a cancer battle for him. And we did try to go 100% with nutrition to try to heal his body with food. And we saw some improvement. We definitely benefit from it. But all the while there was this stress and this anxiety and this yucky stuff under the surface for him emotionally and mentally that it in my mind it almost wasn't even worth it. And I wonder that if we had been able to approach it in a more doable way for him and a more comfortable way, maybe we would have gotten even more benefit out of it. So that's a whole other story for a whole other day, but that's a little bit of why we really don't want to think about going 100%, especially like overnight, So let me share with you 4 tips now of how you can overcome this all or nothing mentality. Number 1, I want you to try to reject this notion, and we all have heard this at one point or another, and it's this cute little saying that, oh, well, when we know better, we do better, okay? And we take that, and I'm telling you, in the last few years that I've been coaching and working with people on changing their healthy habits, I see people saying this to themselves all the time. And it's almost like they take that saying and they twist it and they turn it into this new saying, whether they realize it or not. They are now saying, oh, well, I know better. I understand plant-based nutrition, or I understand how much I need to exercise in order to lose weight, blah, blah, blah. I know better, therefore I should be perfect. Okay, that's really what we're saying to ourselves when we say, well, I know better, I should be doing better. You're not really thinking better incrementally. You're thinking perfect, right? So I want to help you let go of that. Because as soon as we can let go of that, we can step into this space where we give ourselves permission, and this is my second tip, give yourself permission to take incremental steps. I love the saying that goes that Rome was not built in a day. Think about that sprawling empire. It wasn't overnight. Even though the founding fathers of that nation, I'm sure they wanted that result. They wanted to have that giant sprawling empire. But could they do that right away? Absolutely not. Rome was not built in a day. We shouldn't expect to be able to completely overhaul our lifestyles overnight either. So I want you to let go of the need to be perfect and the need to create it all right now and to have it all right now. So I want you to replace that with this idea that 10% better is enough. Okay? That's enough. If you did 10% better this week than you did last week, or this month than you did last month, then that is enough. So I give you permission, and I want you to give yourselves permission that that's okay. It's okay to take steps. With this, I want to share with you an idea that it doesn't matter so much where you are in, this continuum of really unhealthy to perfectly healthy. It doesn't matter where you are on this continuum. What matters is which way are you facing? Which direction are you moving in? What matters is that you are moving and that you are moving toward a healthier lifestyle, a healthier habit, a healthier version of you. That's all that matters. So just let that sink in a little bit, because that is very different than most of the messaging that we get nowadays. Okay? My third tip for you on overcoming the all or nothing mentality is this. Take a moment, and I would invite you to do this today if you have not already done this, or do it sometime this week, to sit down and articulate your vision, your purpose, your end goal of what you want. Is it losing weight? Is it having more energy? Is it reversing heart disease? Is it, what is it? What is it for you? Articulate that vision. Really paint the picture for yourself. And I do these sorts of exercises all the time. Maybe we'll do one on a future video sometime. But I do these with my coaching clients, and it's amazing when you really sit down and really dig in and ask yourself, where do you want to be? What are you longing for? Now, the only way that this will serve you is if you keep a positive mindset about it, not a beating yourself up and saying how far away it is and how impossible it is, and also opening yourself up to the possibility that it is possible for you to reach your goal. Okay? So I want you to sit down sometime soon and articulate your vision. Write it down. What is it that you want? And then I want you to commit to it and get excited about it and think about ways that you can steadily move toward it. Again, 10% better, steps at a time. How can you move in that direction? And you can create a plan for yourself. Okay, this is the sort of thing I do with my clients all the time, but you can do this. You can create that plan. I want you to really focus on, again, creating that positivity around it. Create this longing and this excitement about getting there. Have that. And a lot of people use vision boards. Maybe there's some sort of vision board you could create, something that you could put in your physical space that could inspire you and remind you that this is possible, that it is what you want and what you're longing for in a happy, positive way. Okay? Now, my fourth tip on letting go of the all or nothing mentality is this, and we've touched on this a little bit in the group. Every Wednesday, I give you a little prompt that asks, what was your win? What was your small win this week or today, whatever? And the reason I focus on that so much is that we need to celebrate and notice the things that are going well and the things that are moving us in the direction that we want to be going. Because that's going to build that momentum. It's going to give you that peace of mind that you are making progress. You are doing this. It's okay. we don't need to keep beating ourselves up that here we are, but we want to be here and get all upset about that. And then that usually just leads to us giving up, right? That's not what we want. We want to celebrate what is going well, what we are experiencing that's changing and shifting. And wow, I feel better. I am shedding a little bit of weight. I just have more energy. I'm sleeping better. Whatever it is, notice those, celebrate them, shoot a text to your best friend or post inside this group, share with us what's going well. So I know that a lot of people in the health and wellness space, especially in the plant-based nutrition space, will try to tell you that you need to go all the way because you need to experience all the benefits and all the changes as quickly as possible so that you'll be motivated to stick with it. I call baloney on that, okay? I would really challenge you and invite you to let go of that all or nothing mentality and to have faith in yourself that if you do these 4 things, you can continue to make progress toward your goal and that that's enough. And that because we're human, it's gotta be enough. And we want this to be long lasting. So that is the best way to create lasting change because it's going to ease you into it. You're going to give yourself opportunity to actually build up the habits that will support that new lifestyle. Okay? So just in summary, there's our 4 ways to overcome that all or nothing mentality. Number 1, reject the if I know better, I should do better idea. Replace that with it's okay. It's okay to take those 10% steps. So step number 2 is give yourself permission to take it a step at a time. Number 3, articulate your vision, write it down, post up pictures that get you excited and interested and engaged in it, and keep it positive. Keep it positive. And number 4, notice and celebrate those things that are shifting for you and lean into those. Really amplify them in your mind and in your heart so that you keep going, because that's all that matters. Okay, that's the biggest takeaway I want you to have today, is that it doesn't matter where you are on this continuum, it's which direction are you facing, and are you standing still or are you moving? Are you progressing? Okay, so I hope that makes sense. I want you to know that I do have a fantastic webinar coming up this coming Monday, and if you would like details on that, all you need to do is send me a message, or you can also go to my website, go to danielledinkleman.com/WF, Whole Food Plant-Based PB group. I'm opening up a new session of my group coaching program. It's a 6-week program, and boy, do we get into the behavior change piece. There are 3 really powerful workshops inside this program, and it really helps you understand how to take charge of your habits, how to support the changes you're making, and how to create life-proof goals that are actually setting you up for success. So I'm super excited about that, and I'm going to be talking a lot about those types of behavior change pieces in the webinar on Monday at 1 o'clock. So I will post the link in this video below if you would like to register for that. I'd love to see you there. But in the meantime, take care of yourself. Give yourself permission to take this a step at a time, and share with us inside our Facebook group, Journey to Healthy Living. Share with us how it's going. Celebrate those successes, and let's do this. We can just one step at a time create that ultimate, healthiest version of you that we're looking for. So thank you so much. Have a good rest of your Friday.